Hello students. So far we have discussed that when a current carrying wire is placed in magnetic field, then it experiences a force, and the force that are acting on a current carrying wire is given by this formula, and that is F equals I L cross B. So this is the force that will act when a wire of length L carries current I is placed in magnetic field B. Since it is a cross product of L and B, so the direction of force can easily be found with the help of right hand rule, and we know that. Now there are some important conditions here. For an example, say this is the direction of magnetic field and the wire of length L is making a theta angle from the direction of magnetic field, and this is the direction of current. As we know that the L vector is taken in the direction of current, so in this case the angle between L vector and the B vector is theta. So in that case the force will be I L cross B, or if I will apply the cross rule, then it is going to be I L B sine theta and n cap. Now this n cap is the direction in the direction of force, and you know that it can be easily found by right hand rule, and that is L is in this direction, B is in this direction. So we can fold the fingers from the direction of L to the direction of B, and in that case the thumb will be into the board. So it is the direction of force that is into the board. Or the simplest way is just try to rotate your fingers in the direction from L to B. So this is L, this is B. If I will go like this, then it is a clockwise. And you know that if it is a clockwise movement, then the direction is into the board. This is Maxwell's screw rule, that if you will tighten the screw in a clockwise direction, it will go inside. Now, if I will change the case, suppose this is the direction of magnetic field and the wire is like this. This is the length L and I is the current flowing in it, and theta is the angle. Now, once again, the force is I L B sine theta and n cap, and in this case if you want to find n cap, you will go from L to B, and L to B is this anti-clockwise. So if I will rotate the screw in the anti-clockwise direction, it will come out. So this is the direction of n cap or force that will act on this wire. Now if my wire is placed parallel to the direction of magnetic field, so in that case the theta is going to be 0, and for this case the force acting on this will be 0, as sine 0 is 0. And the last one, that if my wire is placed perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field, so we know that for theta is 90, sine 90 is 1, and that is the maximum value of sine theta. So the force will be maximum, and it will be ILB, because sine theta is 1, and in this case if you want to find the direction of magnetic field, so this is the current, so my L will be in this direction, the B is in this direction. So I will go from L to B, it is a clockwise, and I told you that for clockwise the force is into. So this is the direction of force that will act on this wire. So these are the important conditions where we can find out the direction of the force acting on the wire, and the conditions under which the force is minimum, that is 0, and the force is maximum, that is ILB. And now with the help of this we will discuss the force acting between two parallel current carrying wires. So consider a case that I am having two infinitely long straight wires, and I am considering the first case in which the current in both the wires is in the same direction. So these are the two parallel wires. We'll make it more straight. It should go like this. Okay, and R is the separation between these two wires. So now we will see that what will happen. Suppose this is my wire number 1 and this is my wire number 2. Definitely the both wires contains current, so they will produce the magnetic field around it. Now consider the first wire first. This wire will produce the magnetic field around it, and when the first wire will produce the magnetic field around it, then my second wire will be in the magnetic field of the first wire. So first of all, I will find out the direction of magnetic field of this wire at a distance of r. So consider that this is my point P on this wire, and we need to find out the magnetic field at this point due to this wire. So we know from the rule that if I will apply the rule that the current is in the upward direction, so right hand palm rule says that this is the direction of current, my fingers are towards the point, so the perpendicular to the palm, that is inside, this is the direction of magnetic field of wire 1. Or you can also say that for upward current, the magnetic field lines will be circular, and as you can see, these will be like this. It means anti-clockwise. So for anti-clockwise at this point, the lines will be into the board. So this is the magnetic field produced by wire number 1. I will write the value for this. We know that for infinity long wire, the magnetic field is given by V naught by 2 pi. I is my I1 and this is R. This is the magnetic field produced by wire number 1 at a distance of R. So it is the magnetic field at this point P, and the direction is into the board. Okay, fine. Now my second wire is placed in the magnetic field B1. So if my wire is placed in magnetic field B and the wire contains current, so definitely it will experience a force. And let us see this. The current is in the upward direction, magnetic field is into the board. So angle between current and magnetic field is 90, and we studied that in this case the force will be maximum. So if I want the force on L length of this wire, so for this L length, the force I can write I, that is the current on this wire, so this is I2. L is the length of this wire, and B is the magnetic field that is present at this point, or the magnetic field at which the wire is placed. So this is I2, the current of wire, L is the length of the wire, and B is the magnetic field in which wire is placed. So wire is placed in this magnetic field V1, and let me call this force as F1. So this F1 is going to be I2L. We have the value of V1 as, if I will simplify this, I can write it as mu naught by 2 pi I1 I2 by R. So this is the force per unit length. So this force will act on this wire per unit length, that is F1 by L, and the unit will be Newton per meter, as it is force per unit length. Now what is the direction of this force? So just see this, the current is in the upward direction, the magnetic field is into the board. So what I told you that we have to check what are the directions of I is L and B, and we will move from L to B. So consider a case In this situation, this is the direction of current, so we can take this as L, and this is into the board is my magnetic field. So if I will take the direction from L to B, then this according to me is an anti-clockwise. And for anti-clockwise, I told you if you will rotate the screw in the anti-clockwise direction, it will come out. So according to this, it is the direction of force that will act on this wire. So the force will be in this direction, that is F1. It can also be calculated by Fleming's left hand rule, and you know that the Fleming's left hand rule says that you have to make an arrangement like this. This is thumb, forefinger and the middle finger. All these three are perpendicular to each other. This is the direction of magnetic field. This is the direction of current, and in that case this thumb will give you the direction of force. So I will put my finger in the direction of magnetic field and this finger, middle finger, in the direction of current. So as per this situation, my magnetic field is into the board and the current is upward. So for current upward, I will rotate my hand like this. Now the middle finger is in the direction of current, the forefinger is in the direction of magnetic field, and my thumb is towards left. So this is the direction of force. So by both the ways you can find out the direction of force, either by screw rule or by Fleming's left hand rule. Now this is the force that will act on this wire. On the other hand, as I told you that both the wires will produce the direct magnetic field, so this wire will also produce a magnetic field. So now I will do the same thing for this wire I2. For this wire I2, this will produce a magnetic field here. Consider this point is Q, and for this wire, if you will apply the palm rule, the current is upward, the fingers are towards the point. So perpendicular to my palm, this is the direction of magnetic field. So magnetic field will be outside. Now let me call this magnetic field as B2, and as it is also an infinitely long wire and the point is again at a distance of r, so my B2 will be mu naught by 2 pi I2 by R, because I am finding the magnetic field due to this current I2, so my current. Now, since magnetic field B2 is here and the wire is placed with the current I1, so when a current carrying wire will place in magnetic field, it will experience a force, I told you, and just check at the directions. Current is upward, magnetic field is outward, so the angle is 90 and the force will be maximum, and let this force is F2. So I will write I is the current on wire, B is the magnetic field in which wire is placed, so my magnetic field is B2, and L is the length of the wire, so I am again taking the same length of the wire here. Now if you will put the values, this is on simplifying, we will get F2 by L as mu naught by 2 pi I1 I2 by R. So this is once again force per unit length. And if you will see that this value and this value is exactly same, it means the force acting per unit length on both the wires will be same, but we will find out the direction of this force first. So once again we can apply both the rules. So I am going to apply Fleming's left hand rule, and for that we have to keep my forefinger in the direction of magnetic field, middle finger in the direction of current, and in that case this will give me the direction of force. So my magnetic field is outward, so I will place my finger like this, and this is the current, so the current is upward, so I will rotate my hand like this, okay, fine. So this is magnetic field, this is current upwards, and in that case the thumb is towards left. It means this F2 is in the this F. So the magnitude of the force acting on both the wires is same, but the direction is different. One is towards left and the other one is towards right. And you can also think it by the Newton's third law, that if this wire is exerting a force of F1 on this wire, then from the law of reaction, this wire will also exert a same force but in the opposite direction. So the both forces are equal but opposite in cases. So these are the case that if you have two parallel infinitely long straight wires placed at a distance of r, then force per unit length on each wire is mu naught by 2 pi I1 I2 by r. And as you can see that the forces are towards each other, so they will try to reduce the distance between the wires, and we can say that these two wires will attract each other. They will attract each other since the forces are towards each other. So the parallel wires in which the currents are in the same direction, they attract each other. Now we will discuss something more in the same case, that suppose the wires are parallel to each other, the current in both the wires flows in the same direction. So in that case, what will happen? If you will simplify this case too, as we have done the previous case, so once again, since the directions of current are in the same direction, then after calculating you will get that the forces that will act on both the wires is in the opposite direction, means the wire tries to attract each other, and the force per unit length for this situation too is same. So it doesn't matter that the currents are in the upward direction or the downward direction. The main key point is that if the wires have this current in the same direction, means either upright or downwards. So if the currents are in the same direction, the wire will definitely attract each other, and the force per unit length will also remain the same. Now the interesting fact is, what will happen if the currents are not in the same direction? So let us consider that the current I1 is upwards and current I2 is downwards. So in that case, we have calculated the magnetic field at this point P due to this wire, and that was into the board, and the magnetic field, this magnetic field B1 due to this current I1 was mu naught by 2 pi I1 by R. Now as you know that once again the current and the magnetic field both are perpendicular to each other, so force will be maximum, and that force, say F, is current. So current in the wire is I2, the magnetic field, that is B1 here, and L is the length of the wire. So consider I am taking this length of the wire only. Now if I will put the values here, then I will get mu naught by 2 pi I1 this I2 by R. So the right hand says that the magnitude of the force is exact same. So the force per unit length will not change whether the currents are in the same direction or in the opposite direction. But the important thing is, what is the direction of this force now? Suppose this is the force F1. So once again I will apply the left hand rule. So I will keep my forefinger in the direction of magnetic field, the middle finger in the direction of current. So thumb will give me the direction of force. So my magnetic field is into the board and the current is downwards now. So for downwards, my finger is in the direction of current, forefinger in the direction of magnetic field. Now the thumb is towards right. So it means this force is acting in this direction. This is the direction. But in the previous case, this force was towards left. In this case, the force is towards right. It means this wire is exerting a force towards right on this wire. So what I told you, if we can remember Newton's third law, if this wire repels this wire, this will also repel, or you can easily do it same as the previous, that first of all find out the magnetic field of this wire at here and apply the Fleming's left hand rule. You can find out the direction. So if you will change the direction of current in both the wires, the force will not be in the attractive mode, they will now in the repulsive mode. So this is the repulsive force here. So if the wire contains current in the same direction, they will attract each other. If the current on both the wires is in the opposite direction, the wire will repel each other, but in both the cases the force per unit length will remain the same, and that is mu naught by 2 pi I1 I2 by R. So we have seen that if two wires are placed parallel to each other and the current flows on both the wires, then how the force acts between these two, and we found that the force per unit length was mu naught by 2 pi I1 I2 by R. Now I am considering the case that suppose the wires are placed at a distance of 1 meter from each other. So in that case my distance R is going to be 1 meter, and I will take the current on both the wires as 1 ampere. So in that case my current is equal, and that is 1 ampere. So if I will use these values here, I will get force per unit length as mu naught by 2 pi, and we know that the value of this is going to be 2 into 10 raised to power minus 7 Newton per meter, because the value of mu naught by 4 pi is 10 raised to power minus 7, so this is going to be 2 into 10 raised to power minus 7. Now if the currents are in the same direction, then they will repel each other. If the currents are in the opposite directions, so the wires will repel each other. It means that we can define the 1 ampere current from this situation, that when the two wires are separated by a distance of 1 meter, and if 1 ampere current flows on each wire, then the force of attraction or repulsion, because it is not known that whether the currents are in the same direction or they are in the opposite direction, so the force per unit length will act as 2 into 10 raised to power minus 7 Newton per meter. So in general we can say that 1 ampere is the current which, when flows through two parallel wires placed at a distance of 1 meter, will exert a force of repulsion or attraction of 2 into 10 raised to power minus 7 Newton per meter on each wire. So this is the definition of 1 ampere current that comes from these conditions of two parallel wires placed at some distance. Now we will solve our numerical problem based on this previous concept. So as you can see, the question says that we have a rectangular loop of dimension 25 is to 10. So this is 25 centimeter, this is 10 centimeter, and there is one more wire, and the separation of this loop from the wire is 2 centimeter, and the currents are 25 ampere and 15 ampere. So let us that this current is I1 and this current is I2, and we need to find out the net force on this rectangular loop. So to find that force, first of all, what we will see the basic concept involved in this, and after that I will tell you a shortcut formula. So for that, first of all, see that this is an infinite long wire, and this wire will apply a force on this loop. So for this wire, the magnetic field just above it will be in the outward direction. You can apply the Palm rule or the Maxwell's rule. So for this wire, the magnetic field is outwards everywhere, in this arm, in this arm, in this arm and in this arm. So for this arm, the magnetic field due to this wire is outwards. I will name the branches A, B, C, D. Now first of all, I will keep concentrating on these two branches, AB and CD. So for AB branch, the magnetic field is here, the force will act definitely, and we need to find out the direction of force. So the current is in the upward direction and the magnetic field is outside. So this is the situation like this, my current is upward and the magnetic field is out like this. And if you can apply the Fleming's left hand rule, then it is better, or if I will go from I to B, then it is a clockwise, and clockwise the force is into, so the force will be in this direction. If I will apply the Fleming's left hand rule, then I have to keep my this finger in the direction of magnetic field. So the magnetic field outside, so this is the magnetic field. The current is upward direction, so I have to do like this. Okay, so this is the direction of magnetic field outside, this is the current upwards, so the force is towards this direction. So this is the force that will act on this arm. Now for this arm, the magnetic field is in the same direction, but now the current is not upward basically. The current is downward, so if I will do like this is my magnetic field and the current is, okay fine, this is the direction of magnetic field outside, current is downward, so this is the thumb and it is the force that will act on this branch. Magnetic field on this wire due to this wire will be same, the length of these two arms is same, but the forces are in the opposite direction. So if we have a pair of two forces equal and opposite, then the net force is going to be 0, because these two forces will be equal and opposite. So you can say that in these two arms the total force acting is 0. Now I will consider the rest two arms. So for this arm, if you can see the direction of force, first we will apply the Fleming's left hand rule. So the direction of magnetic field is outwards and the current is towards right. So okay, this is the arrangement, this is magnetic field, this is current, so the force is in the downward direction. So this force I will call it as F1. So the force on this arm is in the downward direction, and it is very clear that if you can see that the current in both the wires are in the same direction, and I told you that when the currents are in the same direction, the wire attracts each other. It means this wire will attract this wire. So by this way also you can find out the force. If I will apply the same rule here, this wire and this part has current, but the currents are in the opposite direction. So I told you that if the currents are in the opposite direction, so this wire will repel this wire. So this is the force, or you can find it with the help of left hand rule. So magnetic field, that is outside, current is in this direction. So this is my current, this is magnetic field, and the force is upwards. So both are the methods you can apply. Now these two forces are still in the opposite direction, but the reason is that the distance between these two arms is 2 and distance between these two arms is 10 plus 2, that is 12. So the distance is not same, but in this case what was there, that the arm length or the distance of both the arms was same from this wire, the length was same, so everything was same, and that's why the net force of these two was 0. But here it will not be 0 because the force will not be same. So for this F1, I will write the formula, and the formula was force per unit length was mu naught by 2 pi I1 I2 by R. So F1 is going to be the value of mu naught by 2 pi. I will write it as it is. This I1 is 15, I2 is 25, and the separation between these two wires is 2 centimeter. So this is 2 into 10 raised to power minus 2. We will convert it into SI system. and multiplied by, this is L. L is the length of the wire, and the length of this wire is, we know, and this is 25 centimeters. So this is going to be 25 into 10 raised to power minus 2 in SI system. So this is the value of force F1. And F2, similarly I can write the formula as mu naught by 2 pi I1 I2 by R into L, but now this is, I1 is 15, I2 is 25, but the R is changed. Now R is the separation between this arm and this wire, and that is going to be 10 plus 2, that is 12 into 10 raised to power minus 2, and definitely the length is 25, so this will remain as it is. And we know that these two forces are not equal, as you can see that there is a change here. This is 2, this is 12. And since this distance is 2, this is 12, this arm is closer, this arm is far away, so this force will be strong. And you can also say it from here that if you will reduce the value of R, force will increase. So this F1 is stronger than F2. So if you need to calculate the net force, then it will be the difference of these two, F1 minus F2. And since F1 is stronger, so it is in the direction of F1. In the direction of F1. So this is the direction of net force, or you can say that the net force will act in this direction, and in this direction is this wire will attract the complete rectangle. And if you can simplify it, mu naught by 2 pi, and this quantity 15 into 25 is remains constant, so I will write it as mu naught by 2 pi 15 into 25 into 25 into 10 raised to power minus 2. This is a common term. I can also take 10 raised to power minus 2 common from here, and the rest will be 1 by 2 minus 1 by 4. You know that the value of mu naught by 2 pi is 2 into 10 raised to power minus 7. So you can put the value and you can find out the answer. And the unit of this force is Newton, because it is the force. It is not the force per net length, because I have multiplied it by the length. So this is the net force, and the nature is in the direction of F1, or you can write attractive. So this wire is going to attract this loop. So this is the way how you can solve such kind of problems, and we can easily conclude from this calculation that in this direction of current, in this case the direction of current is anti-clockwise direction. If I will just reverse the direction of current, means if I will make the current flow in the clockwise direction, so in that case this force will be in the opposite direction, because the currents are in the opposite direction. So this will repel and this arm will attract, and you know that the scene will change and the net force will not be towards the wire, it will be away from the wire. So if the current would flow in the clockwise direction, this wire will repel this rectangular loop. So I hope that the thing is clear to you. You can easily find out the net force on these kind of situations.